This doctrine of the absolute sovereignty of God is a great battering ram against human pride, and in this it is in sharp contrast from the doctrines of men. The spirit of our age is essentially that of boasting and glorying in the flesh. The achievements of man, his development and progress, his greatness and self-sufficiency are the shrine at which the world worships today. But the truth of God's sovereignty with all its corollaries removes every ground for human boasting and instills the spirit of humility in its stead. It declares that salvation is of the Lord in its origination, in its operation, and in its consummation. It insists that the Lord has to apply as well as supply, that He has to complete as well as begin His saving work in our souls, that He has not only to reclaim, but to maintain and to sustain us to the end. It teaches that salvation is by grace through faith, and that all our works before conversion, good as well as evil, count for nothing toward salvation. It tells us we are born not of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. John 1:13. And all this is most humbling to the heart of man, who wants to contribute something to the price of his redemption, and do that which will afford ground for boasting and self-satisfaction. But if this doctrine humble us, it results in praise to God. If in the light of God's sovereignty we have seen our own worthlessness and helplessness, we shall indeed cry with the psalmist, "All my springs are in Thee." Psalm 87:7. If by nature we were children of wrath, and by practice rebels against the divine government, and justly exposed to the curse of the law, and if God was under no obligation to rescue us from the fiery indignation, and yet, notwithstanding, He delivered up His well-beloved Son for us all, then how such grace and love will melt our hearts, how the apprehension of it will cause us to say in adoring gratitude, "Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but unto Thy name give glory, for Thy mercy and for Thy truth's sake." Psalm 115:1. How readily shall each of us acknowledge, "By the grace of God I am what I am." With what wondering praise shall we exclaim, in the words of the old hymn writer, "Why was I made to hear His voice and enter while there's room, when thousands make a wretched choice and rather starve than come? 'Twas the same love that spread the feast that sweetly forced us in, else we had still refused to taste and perished in our sin." Fifthly, this doctrine affords a sense of absolute security. God is infinite in power, and therefore it is impossible to withstand His will or resist the outworking of His decrees. Such a statement as that is well calculated to fill the sinner with alarm, but from the saint it evokes naught but praise. Let us add a word and see what a difference it makes. My God is infinite in power, then I will not fear what man can do unto me. My God is infinite in power, then what time I am afraid I will trust in Him. My God is infinite in power, then I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For Thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. Right down the ages, this has been the source of the saints' confidence. Was not this the assurance of Moses when, in his parting words to Israel, he said, "There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun," Israel, "who rideth upon the heaven in thy help, and in His excellency on the sky. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." Deuteronomy 33:26 and 27. Was it not this sense of security that caused the psalmist, moved by the Holy Ghost, to write, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee. Instead, all things will work together for good. Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. That from Psalm 91. Death and plagues around me fly, till he bid. I cannot die. Not a single shaft can hit, till the God of love sees fit. Oh, the preciousness of this truth! Here am I, a poor, helpless, senseless sheep, yet am I secure in the hand of Christ my shepherd. And why am I secure there? None can pluck me thence, because the hand that holds me is that of the Son of God, and all power in heaven and earth is His. Again, I have no strength of my own. The world, the flesh, and the devil are arrayed against me. So I commit myself into the care and keeping of the Lord, and say with the apostle, I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that He is able to keep that which I have committed unto Him against that day. 2 Timothy 1:12. And what is the ground of my confidence? How do I know that He is able to keep that which I have committed unto Him? I know it because God is almighty, the King of kings and Lord of lords.